told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to
YouTube,
watch your
I've come to bargain
colors
because I just finished watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now it's time for you guys to find out whether this movie's good, bad, or great. See you soon.
I know you told your friend you're.
Welcome back to another episode of Handsome Review with your handsome host, Jamil Surita. I'm very happy to see you guys again, and today we're talking Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. What a crazy movie. What an amazing experience. I really did have a lot of fun watching that movie. I'm going to be honest right now, right? Before I watched the movie, I heard a lot of mixed reviews. I didn't actually listen to the spoilers, but there will be spoilers in this video. Full on spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie, watch it, then come back here and watch the video. And don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, because I will continue coming back with amazing videos just for you guys. Because I love you guys. So my experience with Doctor Strange was amazing, because I'm going to be honest. There was a lot of hype that went into it because of all the rumors. They're like the Illuminati. Supposedly, I heard at one point Tom Cruise was going to be Iron Man, because at some point before 2008 when Iron Man came out, Tom Cruise was in talks to star as Iron Man. But then because of scheduling conflicts and probably who knows what else, it didn't go through. So, that didn't happen. I'm going to get that out of the way. That didn't happen. But the rest of the movie did happen. And it was really amazing and interesting. Here are the highlights for me. The movie starts with some Spanish, which was kind of overhyped, to be honest with you, because of the fact that it was 10 lines, 10 words. And then you hear Doctor Strange speaking Spanish, so that was pretty cool. And then you hear America Chavez being introduced as a Latina character, so that was amazing. I'm a big fan, I really am someone who pushes for Latina representation in cinema, because as much as other people don't recognize us, we definitely exist in this country, and that's how it will always be. So, Marvel recognizing us, amazing, love it. And what else? So one of the other big things was definitely, I like the relationship between Doctor Strange and America Chavez, which was hinted at in the beginning of the movie, because we kind of get started in another universe where she's about to get sacrificed by the same Doctor Strange. But it turns out that Doctor Strange, he becomes known as Defender Strange online and stuff. He's not the same one. But then he comes back at the end of the movie for, you know what, let's just do out of order. One of my favorite scenes of all in the movie definitely is when Defender Strange becomes basically the zombie Strange, because he comes back to life through that idea of the Dream Walker, which is basically where you have one person meditating and then they go into the body of another version of themselves. And then at some point Doctor Strange is trying to come back to his world, and he's like, how are you supposed to do it? You're not even there. And he's like, who says I have to be alive? And bam! You see this amazing shot of his hand sticking out, just like a Sam Raimi movie, because Sam Raimi did direct this amazing movie. And you see his hand stick out, and it was great. I was like, damn, the horror. One of the, and then later on, when Rachel McAdams' character, Christine, basically suggests that he should just take full control because he is a wizard, he has a lot of power, so that he ended up using the same things that were trying to torment him into a really cool, amazing cape, basically, right? And that was amazing to have the ghost just become his cape, and he comes in and he's ready to fight. So definitely one of my favorite scenes. Also, after that, one of my favorite parts was the Illuminati scene, but not for the same reason. It was cool to kind of see John Krasinski as Reed Richards, because we never had a Reed Richards in the MCU, and now John Krasinski is technically canon. He's part of the MCU. And so that was a really great thing, because I've heard of all this fan casting. Everyone's like, oh, John Krasinski would make a great Reed Richards. I'm still kind of iffy about him, because from what I've heard about the story of Reed Richards, he's more of an a-hole. And John Krasinski is definitely one of my favorite actors out there, but he's too much of a nice persona. So I think that if they do make him as the lead in the Fantastic Four movie, sorry about that, then what they should do is they should make him more of an a-hole, or at least he should put a little more acting into a situation, and become that type of a-hole, because that's who Reed Richards was. Reed Richards is kind of similar to the character of Hank Pym, where they're these extreme scientists who don't actually care about people, or in a way they show like they don't care about people. And because of that, it makes it more interesting because they're not some Iron Man knockoff, because Iron Man is also an a-hole, but he's a very funny and interesting one. I want Reed Richards to kind of be played as a more serious type of person, as this person that's willing to do whatever it takes, similar to Doctor Strange, but more extreme, because that's what we saw with the Doctor Strange movie, that he was always that type of person in every world where he would do what it takes, but that means a lot of sacrifice. And a big part of the story is like sacrifice versus happiness, and that's something that's like repeated throughout. They keep asking Doctor Strange if he's happy, and he keeps lying, telling everyone's like, yeah, I'm happy. But the truth is, the whole time they show in the movie that he wants something more, which I get, because it can kind of feel kind of empty in life when you have other parts in your life together, but then, for example, love and that kind of stuff isn't, because whether we want to acknowledge it or not, it's a big part of our lives. So I really like that aspect, because it really did make Doctor Strange feel a little different. I think that they should have gone a little further with the idea of him being like this detached type of superhero to kind of continue to create conflict for his character. Especially because I heard it in another video. I'm going to give credit to Beyond the Trailer, where they said that one of the things that could have been really good about it is to have like this idea of love, and how a detachment versus like really someone who doesn't want to let go, because that's who Wanda is essentially, right? She loves her children and she doesn't want to let them go, and because of her obsession with trying to get her children back, it turned her into this villain. And then you have this other character who's a hero, but how much of a hero is he really if he doesn't really protect the people that he loves, or at least he tries to create a life with them, So that's definitely a big part of him. So that's definitely something I want to see more explored in the story. But maybe in the next one it could be, since we're going with spoilers, you get Charlize Theron at the end of the movie, right? In the after credit scene. And I think that what happens with that is eventually she's going to become the love interest, because in the comics they get married and all that kind of stuff. So she's definitely a big character in Doctor Strange's life. So maybe we'll have more of that kind of explored in the story. After the post-credit scene talking about that, I also wanted to talk about the controversial Illuminati scene. It's definitely one of those scenes that not a lot of people liked, because of the fact that you introduce these heroes, everyone's like, oh damn, they're part of the MCU, and at the same time Wanda comes and is like, nuts. And I also saw like people kind of critiquing, saying that we don't really get to see the fights really explored. We don't get to see their powers as much as I would love to have seen. How they would use Mr. Fantastic and see Black Bolt kind of use more of his power, because we did see his power used, which I thought was actually pretty cool in the way that they did it. You actually got to hear his voice, and when he killed Doctor Strange, he was like, I'm sorry. So that was pretty cool. I will say, I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to see John Krasinski really fight, but I think that what they did was really strong. They were these strong moves, where essentially we got to see WandaVision's power really come to fruition. And that's the really nice thing about using a multiverse. You can kill a whole bunch of people who are kind of important, but really aren't. Just people meant to be sacrificed for the action. And I really like that, because you had like this moment first with first you see Black Bolt's head just like get destroyed in the back. That was crazy. That was as graphic as I think Marvel is willing to go. So this made the movie a little darker. And then John Krasinski turned to spaghetti, which I thought was kind of funny. And then on Captain Carter, who is Peggy, she came back and now she's a superhero of her own. And then she literally gets cut in half. That shit was gruesome. Even though basically the gruesome part of it wasn't really that gruesome, because they don't actually fully show it, but it alluded to it. So that was really cool. And then they kill Monica Rambeau's character, and so that on Captain Marvel, in a like really just like she was stomped kind of way. So I really like that. I thought Wanda was definitely one of the scarier villains that we've had, because she's more of a witch now. Like, she's fully embraced who she is. That moment when she gets out of the mirror and she's like, ah, ah, like her limbs are coming out? That was great. And then you had that scene where her eye literally popped up. It was body horror, I think is what it's called, which was really great. So it really does create like a very different feel to it, because that's the issue when you have something like the MCU. After a while it could kind of feel like it's just a machine just making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. But I think that the only way the MCU can really move forward and create something worth watching is when they do different things, when they try to take chances, like introducing a bunch of superheroes that get killed. But my issue about that is that now when they get shown again in their own movies, if they get to, for example, the Fantastic Four, they're going to have a harder time explaining why they're strong enough to fight whoever they are. Because Wanda just came in and literally squashed them like bugs. So I want to see that more explored. And I think that maybe the only way to really use it is as in a way where they humanize the characters. That's going to probably be the best way, because you don't want superheroes to be overpowered, because then it's kind of hard to care about them. The stakes and the tension isn't as strong. But the movie was really great. You know, I really liked the action. I liked the relationship between Doctor Strange and America Chavez. Even Rachel McAdams in the movie did a really good job. And then the Illuminati, as much as they were teased and people were like obsessed with it, what it ended up being was a lot less than what it was and what we thought. Which is, you know, it's just interesting. You know, I think that that does become a more controversial take, but that's the point. I think that's the point of stories. And the point of creating stakes is to be able to show that no one's safe, and that way we become more invested in what's going to happen. So I really loved the movie. You know, definitely recommended it to anyone who wants to watch a Marvel movie. It was great, amazing. I watched it in theaters and I had a lot of fun. The horror aspects were great. So, you know, Sam Raimi is one of the best directors for when it comes to superhero movies. He's the director of Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. And then he came back for now, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Great choice. You had a lot of aspects from his movies, from the Evil Dead movies that he made that were very famous. Even his lead came into the movie as a cameo as well. So, you know, that's always kind of cool and interesting. I do believe in Kevin Feige's words, and whatever he does, he can literally do no harm. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, yeah, it's a worthwhile movie. The next movie I'm really interested in checking out is going to be Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. One of the best parts about the movie seems to be Christian Bale's new character, and also to find out if the mighty Thor can really hold up on her own. So it's gonna be some interesting stuff. Thanks again for watching, guys. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, because next week we will have another new video. Thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you quite soon.